Good afternoon and welcome to the channel. So on my bumper install video, I left a little teaser in the end of that video. I know that some of you guys have seen it, but what that teaser was is I was showing the front of my car, and there is some lighting that is done. There's grill lighting, coil cover lighting, demon eyes, and halos. So the reason why I pulled my front bumper off was to make a video for you guys to show you how to pull the front bumper, but I also had something else planned. So what I have done is I pulled my front bumper off and took my headlights out and sent them to ModFX. The reason why I chose ModFX, that shop is absolutely awesome. They do extremely good work. You can see a lot of their stuff that they do on Instagram. They are getting a YouTube channel up and going. If you are not familiar with ModFX, I would strongly recommend checking them out. Like I said, the quality of work and stuff they do is absolutely awesome. The cars that they have built and done stuff to are just on the next level, and it's just really awesome. So I got a hold of the guys down there. They are super friendly. They'll work with you to make sure that whatever it is you want to do, what any kind of custom stuff you want to do, that it's going to meet your expectations. And then they also take it one step further and take it beyond just with the quality of work that they do. So I sent my headlights to ModFX. ModFX is located in the Houston area in Texas. You do not have to live in Houston. I live over 1,100 miles away from Houston, so stuff like this you can do. You can talk to them and call them, and whatever it is you want to do, send your stuff to them, they'll send it back, or you can buy stuff from them, they'll send it to you. So I sent my headlights down to them, and they custom built my headlights for me. And they are absolutely awesome. They are really, really cool looking. Just the craftsmanship that has gone into these lights is, like I've said, on the next level. They've met my expectations and have exceeded my expectations. So ModFX, I will leave their info down in the video description down below. So if you guys are looking to do something for any kind of custom stuff that you're wanting to do, their information will be down there, and you can get a hold of them and talk to them and get your custom build going and on its way. So the video that I'm going to do right now is I want to show you guys, if you were to send your headlights out, this is how you're going to hook them up. So I will be showing you how to hook up the halos. I'm going to split this into a two-part video. We will do the headlights in one video, and then we will do the grill lighting, demon eyes, and coil covers in what I'm going to call a part 2 video. The reason why I'm breaking it up into two videos is they run on two separate systems. So the halos are on a system by themselves, the demon eyes and the grill lighting and coil cover lighting are on a system of their own also. So I want to go ahead and do the part 1, show you guys. I'll get the part 2 uploaded also. And then the halos that were put in these are lighting Trendz. They are called the Flow series. And I'm going to make a video and go over all this. They have an extremely crazy amount of options that you can do with the halos and even with the other lighting. So they are really, really cool. So we're going to definitely get them hooked up, kind of check them out a little bit, and I'll walk you guys through how to hook them up. So let's go ahead and hop into hooking up the halos on this. Alright, so let's check these headlights out. This stuff up here is just some stuff I'm going to go over, but here are the headlights. And would you look at that in there? It's kind of hard to see, but etched into my projector lens, that is the Scat Pack B head. And it looks really, really good. So one thing I like a lot about ModFX when they do these color changing halos is they leave this acrylic ring in here. So if you get up real close, you can see all the little LEDs in here, but when you're back from it, you don't even have to get that far. You cannot see them. So it is a extremely clean looking build that they have done on these, and both headlights are done here. So I love the way that looks, keeping it real nice and clean. Another thing I like a lot is that it, like the Diode Dynamics kit, will replace and it lights up the acrylic rings. With this kit, it still retains your factory driving lights. You can still have the amber one on the inside, or you can both have both of them white. So it still has that is incorporated. This is just an add-on, and that is the factory stuff still does work. None of that has been touched or changed. So I'll go over some of the stuff that you're going to need to hook it up. I'll show you where I'm placing some of the the control box and everything, so you guys kind of have an idea on that also. So we will hook up the color changing halos, and like I said, we will be doing the demons in part 2 is what I'm going to call it. So you are going to need some double-sided sticky tape. This is just some 3M, pair of scissors to cut off the length that you need, rubbing alcohol as always, and that is just for cleaning the area that you'll be sticking it to make sure you have a good clean surface for this adhesive to stick to. This is the controller for the halos, and then here's the other box also, and I'll show you where these wires will hook up. And then you have a power and a ground. One nice thing I like a lot is the power has an inline fuse built in. Then you're going to have your Bluetooth controller with the wires, and I'll show you where that plugs in. You're going to need this. This is a extension harness, so this will get it from where we're going to be mounting the box over to the driver's side, just so it will be long enough. And something to keep it clean. This is a breakaway cable, as you'd call it. There is 2 wires coming out of one end, one coming in the other. The one will plug into the extension harness. When you come over here to the headlight, you have 2 wires that's going to hook to, because you have the 2 halos. So with the controller here, I am going to be mounting that. This is the passenger side. I'm going to be mounting that right down in here. I'm going to get that area cleaned up real good with some rubbing alcohol, get the double-sided tape on. I'll show you the tape, and then I'm going to get it stuck in there, and I'll show you guys where I put it at in there. Okay, so you can see that I have got the double-sided sticky tape, this 3M adhesive, put on both of these, and now we're going to go ahead and put them down in here. It's pretty tight down in here, so I'm going to get them stuck, and then I will show you guys where I have them placed. Alright, so here we are on the passenger side. This is the passenger side headlight. You can see right back in there, that's the lower black box, that's the upper one. So I just kind of stacked them on top of each other right down in there. We'll zoom in so you can see where they're at. And you have the 5 wires that are coming out of that lower black box. I have them coming to the inside of the engine bay. The black box is up top with the power and ground wires towards the inside of the engine bay as well. So if you're standing here at the car, you're going to have your black panels are going to be here. You are not going to be able to see down in there like that. And even if you're at this angle and you see it, I think personally that looks pretty clean. With the cooling fins on here, looks like something that'd be kind of factory to the car, so really is not going to catch your eye. Personally, I don't think so. Now the next step is going to be running all of our wires and hooking them up. Once we get that done, then hooking up power and ground to it. So the next step is going to be hooking up our Bluetooth controller. On the bottom here there is some little flat head screws. Make sure those are tight with the wires. And then another thing I forgot to mention is on the small black box here, you have 4 wires coming out that have this black heat shrink. Then you have this one that is on the bottom below it. This wire here is going to be the one that will plug into your controller. So we'll go ahead and get that plugged in. So you have a little locking tab right here where my thumb is at. And then on this plug-in piece, on the very tip here, you're going to have a little detent, and that's where that's going to plug in and latch at. So just plug that in. So now your controller is now plugged in. I'm also going to put some of the 3M double-sided tape on this controller, and I'm going to mount it up under here because you will not see it at all. So I'm going to go ahead and do that next. So I've got the tape on there, and I want my wires to go towards the inside of the engine bay. We're just going to keep it the same as everything else. And like I said, I'm going to mount it up under here. Get it pushed where you want, put a little pressure on it, and now that piece is not going to come out unless you absolutely want it to. So now we've got the boxes mounted, we have got the controller mounted. The next step is going to be hooking up our headlights. So like I said, I have the demon eyes in my headlights also. You're going to have 2 long wires like this that are going to come a long ways up here. Those are for your halos. There is a short one down in here. That is for your demon eye. But with these 2 wires, we just need to hook them up with those other 4 that I showed you that had the heat shrink. Like I said, there's 4 of them. As you can see right here, there is the 4 wires. So get those kind of routed where you're going to want them. It doesn't really matter which ones you're plugging into. They all control the halos for the headlights. And pay attention to the tab on these so you have them plugged in the right way. And plug both of these in. So now I have both the passenger side halos plugged in. Now we gotta put our extension harness with our breakaway cable that comes out to the 2 ends like I showed you guys. We gotta hook that up on the driver's side. So I've got you guys a little bit further back now. I'm gonna be in the picture. Hopefully you guys like looking at me. But we're gonna get the extension harness, which is this one. It's not the breakaway cable. We're gonna go ahead. It's got a male and a female end. We're gonna get that plugged in to one of the wires off that lower black box. Get this cable stretched out over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. And also this male end is gonna be the one that plugs into the box. The female end here is going to plug into your breakaway cable with the 2 wires coming out of the one end. So go ahead, you can plug that in. Now that it's plugged in, we'll get this end over here plugged into the box, and then we'll plug this into the headlights. You're going to want to route all of your cable somewhere nice and neat so you're not going to see it. And for me, I think I'm going to route it up under the front of the car. I will bring you guys in closer to show you, but I think putting it up under here, I can be able to zip tie it up, make it nice and clean looking, and still access my driver's side headlight. Okay, so now I've got this routed over. Like I said, I will show you guys, but this is the breakaway harness with the 2 ends. We're going to plug each halo into one of these, making sure that you've got these lined up correctly like I've showed you. So now those are plugged in. And I'll grab the camera here and I'll show you guys where I've routed everything. So this is coming out to the breakaway harness here. And as you can see, this wire I have ran all through here. There is a wire back in here that runs under the hood latch. So we're just going to get that all tucked up like so. Get everything zip tied. But this is where I've ran this whole wire here. And we'll get everything zip tied up. We have an existing harness that we can zip tie to and make it look really nice and clean. But right now we have got both headlights hooked up. We have the boxes mounted, the controller boxes, the Bluetooth box mounted. All we need to do is hook up power and a ground and test them. So I think that's a good step to do now, is go ahead and hook that up and test them. I'll show you how to hook that up. And then once you get it tested, make sure it works. Get everything zip tied up nice and neat. Alright, so the next step is going to be hooking up your power and your ground. Your ground, I'm just going to ground to the grounds down here underneath the fuse box. And the power, I'm just going to pull power off of this main power supply here. This is my power wire, so what I have done with it, as you can see here, I've ran it under the fuse box, underneath the back here, to there. So my plan here is I'm going to be zip tying it to the harness there, and then there's also the harness right here. I'm going to zip tie it to it, try to keep everything nice and tied up. The ground, I'm also going to run up this harness, keep it zip tied, and bring it over here and ground it. For this small nut here to ground, you're going to need a 10 millimeter, and then for in here, to take that nut off, you're going to need a 13 millimeter socket or wrench to get that off also. I'm not going to hook directly into here. I'm going to pull this off and then hook underneath of it. So I'm going to go ahead and get that stuff all hooked up. Okay, so like I've said, I'm going to hook the ground here. As you can see, I do have it hooked up. This is the ground wire here. Everything is loose. I will be zip tying everything up. The power wire came up behind the fuse box underneath of it, and it comes in underneath of this. So you take that nut off, you're able to lift this whole cable up and put it underneath there. And then I am going to zip tie everything up. We have a whole mess of wires here. Underneath here we have a whole mess of wires. Of course, the extension harness we ran through here on top of the the driver's side headlight here got a whole mess of wires. So gonna definitely get all this wire stuff taken care of, get it zip tied up. I really don't think you guys want to watch me putting who knows how many zip ties on. So I'm going to go ahead and get everything tied up, get the zip ties put on, get it all nice and clean looking. I will go over it and show you where I've zip tied everything. But I think right now what we need to do, we've got the power hooked up, ground hooked up, headlights plugged in. So I'm thinking the next step is to test these out. So like I said, it is a Bluetooth app on the phone here. Wow, that's a nice looking car. That's my car. It's called Magic LED. It's right here. That is the app that you're going to want. Your Bluetooth will have to be turned on your phone, which my Bluetooth is turned on. And this is roughly what the app looks like. It works with Android or Apple, so you can use this on any operating system of phone. So up here on the top is the power button. So let's go ahead and turn it on. And there is a solid red. You have a color wheel that you can change a bunch of colors, go through them real quick. And I think that is enough. It's definitely working. I really want to go through this app. I'm going to do another video. I'm going to show you everything that these halos can do. It is very, very impressive what they can do. So I do want to make another video. Basically, I just want to show you the install video, the app, Magic LED, how to hook everything up. So that's what I was wanting to show you guys. And I'm going to get everything zip tied up and show that to you as well. Alright, so we've got everything zip tied up. I'll go ahead and show you guys like I mentioned before. So down in here you can see the red on the wire. I have got those zip tied up. Just brought them up underneath here, and I've just zip tied them along here. These brackets do go down at an angle, so it looks like it's drooping, but really it is tight. Then you come over and you zip tie it along this wiring harness under the hood latch. Keep coming along, and then it goes back under here. So I've wrapped these wires up by hand, zip tied them all together to the headlight harness here. So they're up out of the way. They're a little under the headlight here, which is perfectly fine. It's the way I want it. That way you can't see it looking down in the engine compartment, because the black pieces will go in here and cover all of that up. For the power and ground, they come here. They just run along this harness and they're zip tied up. Of course you can't see it. It comes up underneath the fuse box. Comes out to here. I have it zip tied once here. I got to get this other part here zip tied up also, and then it is just hooked up there. So that is how you hook up the color changing halos. Oop, kind of showing a little too much of the light there. These lights are super cool. Alright guys, hopefully this video is helpful. Leave in the comments below what you think of them. I think they look really cool. They take the car to the next level. Personally, with appearance wise, I'm super happy with them. They look fantastic. So definitely let me know what you guys think of them. If it's something that you're thinking about doing, I'd love to hear from you guys if you are going to be doing it. And like I said, definitely hit up ModFX. You will not be disappointed with them whatsoever. So, well, like I said, hopefully this video was helpful. And hopefully you enjoyed watching it. If it's something that you're planning on doing, and maybe you're not planning on doing it, and you're just watching the video for the support and the comments to see what I'm doing, and I really appreciate you guys that are doing that also. So I will catch you guys all in the next one, and until then, take care.